today we've got in our hot seat Olivera Rosulnik, and she's the co-founder of GORR. So hi Olivera, it's really good to have you here.
Hi Inge, hi Gabriel. Thank you for having me. It's a true pleasure.
Are you ready for this? Shall we do it?
Yes, let's do it.
Welcome to C-Suite Hot Seat, the show where we put C-level executives from language service providers of all sizes in the hot seat. We will ask tough questions and get inspired answers. Our hosts today are Inge Boonen, VP of Consulting, and Gabriel Karandyšovský, Chief Operating Officer at Nimdzi Insights.
What is it actually that GORR does?
GORR is the multilingual language provider based in Slovenia. So we basically work with end clients and LSPs, providing them with all language services in virtually all language pairs.
Was working for GORR the first career that you dreamed of when you were a kid?
To be honest, not. When I was really young, I wanted to be an interior designer. I liked arranging and decorating things. But at the time, it meant going to a really specialized high school, which was not the option for me at the time. So my route was entirely different, actually.
How do you like to spend your time? Are you still thinking of the interior design of your own home, or how should we see that?
Yeah, I'm trying, but with these small kids, all the decoration just goes somewhere around under bed or something. So in my free time, as I mentioned, having two kids and living in Slovenia, we have a lot of cute places and green services. So we try to spend as much time as a family outdoors, although sometimes I wish I just stayed home and did nothing. But, I already spend a lot of time in the office, so I definitely have to get to some fresh air. And as a business co-owner, Gregor and I, my husband and co-founder, we do brainstorm and think about some business matters.
Even when you are in the countryside in Slovenia, which is a really beautiful place, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. Although I have to say that a lot of business ideas also were born while walking along the beach in Trieste. We have Trieste and Italy really close. So I have to mention Trieste as well as a place of where the ideas are born.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place as well. And if you were given the chance, or you had the chance, which would be three different countries that you'd like to visit, and why?
Nowadays, I wish I could go anywhere because we were within our borders for such a long time. But if I had to pick, definitely the first place goes to Denmark, Copenhagen. I heard that they have these kilometers long cycling routes through the city, and I would really love to experience that. Secondly, I would like to go to California or states in general. For us living in Europe, we have this image of America from the movies. So I would like to go there and match that experience in person. Finally, I'm a summer person. I love sea and beaches. So anywhere on the globe with those sandy beaches. Although I have to say and share this third place with Iceland, which is not typical for me because I don't like cold, but recently I just fell in love with its landscape. So it's definitely on the map to visit someday.
What is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
My mom gave me really good advice, and it was I was really young, that whatever you do, no matter how horrible and wrong it is, you have to tell me, because the worst thing to me as a parent that can happen is to hear this from someone else. So this is something I truly remembered. And I suppose it meant, you have to own your mistakes and hopefully learn something from that. So this is something I pass to my kids as well, and also expect from my team.
Thank you, Olivera. We have a mini list of a little bit tougher questions, more business oriented, as Inge mentioned. So the very first one, because I sense there's a story there. What inspired you to start your company with your husband, Gregor?
We just wanted to have our journey, our unique story. Like many of us in this industry, we entered this market by chance. We are not translators by education. So Gregor always wanted to have his business, and I had some experience in the field. Our main incentive and goal was just to be the best provider out there, and of course to be the best employer to both in-house and out-house teams, external teams.
What was your first sort of breakthrough on this journey?
I think we've had a lot of milestones in business because we really started from scratch. So I think every new project, every new client, when we started, it was a small breakthrough for us.
What was your biggest failure then, and what have you learned from it?
I've been, let's say, disappointed for so many times. And the one that comes up to my mind is when I moved from the Czech Republic to Slovenia. And during my high school and my studies, I was involved with human rights, post-war reconciliation, and such topics. So for my future profession, I didn't have a lot of options, right, with that one. But at the time, I was lucky to spot this institute in Slovenia, and I said, okay, this is great. I would move to totally another country, knowing no one, but I would just get hired there and do just my dream job. So I applied for internship there, and I was really disappointed because I was observed as another student who just came there to have its paper signed. And I was getting really lousy projects, and soon I gave up on them and they gave up on me. So for me, that was really big disappointment. But luckily, soon after, I found my new path in this industry. So it didn't end up that bad after all.
Do you have a mentor, someone you look up to, whether in life or in your career?
I really look up to my husband. He always says, you know, I am 5 years older than you after all, you know. But I think that he has some strengths that I do not. So we are really complementary in that way. And of course, I tend to follow all the gurus of the industry, of course, and going through materials that address our business matters.
What was the most innovative thing you've ever done?
Whoa, innovative. I think that anytime I did some assignment with my kids, when you had to make something, anytime I get, into those stuff, my imagination goes off. For a Halloween and stuff like that, I did a lot of costumes for the little ones.
How do you motivate your team?
Acknowledging their work and letting them know that you cherish what they do and how they do it. I think that's the best motivation you could get. Celebrating all the wins and saying it's okay when the mistakes are done. And after all, when you see your business grow, I think that it is a result of the group work, and I think that's the incentive for everyone, without words even.
What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are starting their own business in the language industry?
I'd say that you need to be professional, however, easygoing and nice at the same time. I think all three have to be there. Of course, to be ready to work long hours and learn, at least at the beginning, and especially if you're newbie to the industry. You need to surround yourself with good people with particular work ethics and some characteristics that your business needs. And finally, that they have to learn how to let go some things.
That's a great one, Olivera. And thank you so much for joining us in the hot seat. I hope you didn't sweat too much.
Just enough.
If anyone else feels like letting off some steam and you are part of the C-suite at a company in the language services industry, feel free to sign up with us if you dare to sit in our hot seat.
And for the viewers, this was all, folks. Thank you for watching, and look out for our next episode that will be published as a video on MultiLingual TV and as a podcast on the Nimdzi website. With that, Olivera, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you both. Thank you. It was great.